to have you. It killed me to have to give you that slip. Half of me wanted to take you out for a drink. I mean, how often does one encounter a kindred spirit of sorts? There's nothing kindred about us. I was built to take you down. Right. Well, there is that. But regardless, we are brothers of sorts. We have the same parents. Do you know who those parents are? Better yet, and this is a trick question, mind you, do you know who your father is?
I am your father. Steve says nothing. Klatch draws nearer to him.
Hitler's your father, Colonel.
Wow, that's the only way you top Darth Vader. Steve's hand springs forward to grab Klatch, but Klatch nonchalantly smacks it away as he dodges to the right.
It's true. Where do you think the bionics program began? You've heard of the experiments that... Sorry, I'm just going to redo that again. It's true. Where do you think the bionics program began? You've heard of their experiments the Nazi doctors performed. Atrocious acts of inhuman proportion. Well, cybernetics was counted amongst those experiments, seeing if a man could be mechanically enhanced. The visionary quest for the Ubermensch, the Spider-Man. They made some headway too, but then of course, the Reich was defeated, and both Americans and the Russians clamored to pull out as many German scientists as they could.
Hold on, I need to stop you. He said the quest for the Ubermensch, the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay, Ubermensch is German for Superman.
Yeah, but I mean...
Spider-Man, that's... I don't even get what kind of joke Kevin is trying to make there.
I don't think it was meant to be a joke. It was meant to be like a nod, and I really didn't see it as anything more than just him being silly.
No, I think his brain maybe he meant to write Superman and he just had Spider-Man on the brain and he got them confused for half a second. Maybe later when he went back to make this into a comic book, he went, "Oh shit, Spider-Man. How did I do that?"
Yeah.
Anyway, please, continue.
I will. They made some headway too, but then, of course, the Reich was defeated, and both the Americans and the Russians clamored to pull out as many German scientists as they could. And while the space program was born out of the genius of said scientists, something much more important germinated as well. Bionics. That's your history. They say it's important, to know where you came from. You probably like that, don't you? Crediting a lunatic like Hitler as a part of your heritage? Hello.
Well, did I miss where we are?
Yeah. We're page 138. As he speaks, Klatch notices the exposed metal.
Oh, somehow my page... Oh, it must have been when I looked up that word. My page accidentally moved to the next page, and so I got messed up. I'm very sorry.
No, you're good.
As he speaks, Klatch notices the exposed metal on his forearm. He begins fiddling with it.
Actually, I think Hitler was an idiot. But then, every son finds fault with his father sooner or later.
The metal plate shifts slightly as if loose. Klatch's face registers this with some frustration.
Der Fuhrer was stupid because he chose to focus on his range. On one group of people. I find that kind of racism short-sighted. It would be ridiculous for us to view one race as beneath us when they're all beneath us. You're going to hate only one race. I say, hate the entire human race. So, that's what you're working toward? You're going to wipe out mankind and fashion a machine world? Didn't I see that in a movie once? They didn't have to make me stop the likes of you. They should have, excuse me. They should have taken away your video store card.
Klatch grabs a screwdriver from a tool table. He begins tightening the panel in his arm.
The famous Austin Witt, I presume. That was also in your profile. One of the contributing factors to choosing you as a guinea pig number 2. What? One of the...
As guinea pig number 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll rewrite that. One of the... It's been a long day, dude. One of the contributing factors to choosing you as a guinea pig number 2. With your easygoing nature, they figured you'd adapt well to your new lifestyle. But wit is usually preceded by intelligence, and that's where they slipped up. Because it's the exact intelligence that's going to help you see the world through my eyes. Lays down screwdriver. Not that that matters. You're smart, Colonel. You're smart, Colonel Austin. So I'll cut to the chase. In constructing you, they've enabled me to institute my plans for, yes, worldwide domination. I mean, what kind of villain would I be if I lacked one of those, right? You're not a villain, you're a joke.
Klatch smashes himself violently into the bars, fiercely eyeing Steve.
I am a god!
Table Reads will return after this brief word from our sponsors.
Lights, camera, action.
So the movie's kaput, which means your script ain't worth the buffalo shit on a nickel.
Now, back to Table Reads.
Now, I typically like to end for the break at a scene break, but this, just like in the last episode, this one scene just goes on and on and on with dialogue. I flipped ahead, and there are just so many pages. I don't even know when the next scene is. And it's all you talking to yourself, Patrick.
Yeah. In other words, people, fine folks listening at home, if you listen to this podcast specifically with the intent of hearing Sean and his, smooth
no one does. Don't
pipes, then you're just going to want to just fast forward. I don't know. Because this is going to be all me.
Yeah. Let's deal with that now.
Fade in.
I am a god.
Klatch steps back slowly and brushes himself off slightly, containing his rage.
As is yourself, we are the Adam and the Eve. You can be whichever one you like. One of the new millennium. We are thinking machines with free will. And I'm not talking about that movie crap. We're not machines that gained total consciousness or some cyberpunk sci-fi garbage out of that nature. I'm talking about the perfect union mankind. What? I'm talking about the perfect union mankind has been working tirelessly and obsessively towards since the start of the Industrial Revolution. The marriage of man and machine.
Steve looks back at Klatch. Yeah, they're having a conversation. Of course he does. He's not just going to turn his back on him. I'm not listening to you.
Jesus, you're insane. No, I'm awake.
Klatch throws a switch on the wall that electrifies the cage. Steve convulses.
The rest of the world forgot to set their alarm.
Steve continues to jolt back and forth violently, writhing in pain.
A lot of people think that I'm anti-human, and that's horseshit. I realize how important humans are, Hell, I used to be one myself. But I view them as they view the apes from which they evolved. They're a cute but painful reminder of the necessity of natural selection. Strike that. I view them as our cattle, or something. Regardless, I don't discount or disdain them. We need the humans to make them over in our image.
Klatch pulls the switch again, shutting off the charges. Steve falls to the floor, breathing heavily.
Microwaves. I use them to discipline my troops. I also use them on smartasses. So watch who you call insane, please.
Steve rubs at his head, attempting to gain his bearings. Klatch hits a switch on the wall, and huge hangar-like doors open, pouring light into the once dark room. Steve shields his eyes, looking up, only to then go wide-eyed instead. As the doors slowly slide open, we see a legion of cyborg soldiers, row upon row of machine men, standing in wait, eyes closed. Their appearance is biomechanic. Unlike Steve, the replaced limbs and enhancements can be seen for what they are. It's like an army of Klatches. Gilgamesh stands at a platform, a control board spread out before him. He's online, as always.
This only took me 6 months. Thanks to the data the OSI has been pleasant enough to supply me with, via my little raids. And it's only the beginning, Colonel. I'm going to decrease the population of the world by 2/3. That's actually a good idea. And recreate the remaining fortunate few as cyborgs. Think of it. The dregs of this human planet wiped clean.
You just inserted the word human randomly.
Did I really? I have issues with words. And recreate the remaining fortunate few as cyborgs. Think of it. The dregs of this planet wiped clean, taking their disease and pollution with them, leaving a world where mortality is conquered by science. As long as we continue to update their parts and enhance their health through bionics, my people will never die. And the far less crowded Earth will then be home to the product of self-propelled evolution. Regenesis by my hand. A race of the bionic, ageless, deathless, perfect. Like us.
You know, I actually think that Kevin is hitting on some really high sci-fi concepts here of transhumanism.
Yeah.
That before they became real popular. So, kudos, Kevin. Kudos.
Yeah, he's been known as a trendsetter among certain cliques. This is just one of them.
I mean, I'm sure. No, I know for a fact William Gibson had been writing some transhumanist stuff at this point or earlier, but like it hadn't permeated the pop culture at the point. So I still give Kevin props here.
Oh yeah.
Klatch signals to Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh turns the key on his control panel. The army goes online. Every soldier sparks to life. Wait, were they just like standing there like mannequins before?
It was like that scene from iRobot, I'm guessing.
So you just open a door and they're all just like...
Sure.
That I didn't get. I thought they were like standing there ready to do some shit. I didn't know they were just statues. Klatch watches this, beaming with... Wait. I missed. Okay. Every soldier sparks to life. Squadron leaders step out of the line and lead their squads toward the waiting carriers. Klatch watches this, beaming with pride. He then turns his attention to Steve, who rolls subtly from side to side, still in pain. Klatch kneels down beside him.
I would like very much for you to rule by my side, Colonel.
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
No! Sorry. We were the first to be reborn into this new world. It is only fitting that we oversee it together. Like it or not, we are brothers in steel. Brothers in steel.
Steve struggles to speak,